Hi, I'm Mal from the Money Study, bringing you another episode in our Take 10 Challenge, number 49, setting up your account. So we've got some method of buying and selling our investments. Okay, there's the disclaimer, facts and figures, information only, this is not advice. So if we're going to be buying and selling our shares, we're going to have to do it through somewhere and someone, because literally when you buy shares, you do it through the Australian Stock Exchange. And to do it, you basically need to have a broker to be able to do that. Now, you can certainly get a broker and you can certainly still ring them up and place your orders and get recommendations from a broker and so forth. You can establish a relationship with your personal broker who can look after you. And people still do it that way. But it's just a cost arrangement for every time you buy and sell, especially if you're ringing up a broker. The cost can indeed be quite expensive. So most people these days tend to do it online. You don't actually have a personal broker, you just have an account that allows you to press the button, put in what you want, how many you want, at whatever price, and effectively your request goes straight through on the online account to the ASX through the broker and effectively placing your trade. So most people these days do it online. Generally speaking, because it's cheaper, and also the fact that a lot of people don't want to talk to somebody, in the regard that brokers can indeed be salespeople to a degree. They are working for a brokering company. They might be brought in by a company to get rid of some of their shares, to offload them, in which case they can be ringing you up to suggest, oh, here's a good one you might want to buy, when really all they're doing is they're getting commission on getting rid of it. Not saying that's what always happens, but it certainly can, and dare I say it's happened to me many years ago. So it can be a case of, well, I'll go through how do we go and find an appropriate broker in a minute, but some of the things we need to sort of keep an eye on when we're looking is the ability to transfer our money. So how do you get your money from your bank account into your brokerage account? Because there's got to be some money in that account that the broker can actually use to turn around and buy the shares. So I've got two different broking account. One I can load it with my credit card and have money in my account literally within seconds. The other one, I've got to do a fund transfer, so my money would normally take perhaps up to 24 hours to get my money in. Neither of which for me is a problem, but it can be a case that getting your money out effectively the same in reverse. So it really is a case of these days not too hard to get our money in, and most brokerage account these days will allow normally just a funds transfer. The fourth one is not really a problem so much these days. In the past there were some issues where brokers could access your account effectively without even your authorization. They literally, your money was in their account for them to act on when you told them to, but effectively because it was still in their account, they could indeed purloin the money to go and do whatever they like with the money. Now, of course, that obviously causes some problems if the company goes broke and they've been using your money. So these days, most of our trading accounts and so forth, your brokering account is in like a trust arrangement, separate from the actual company, so that they cannot dip into that, obviously without your authorization to do so. And pretty much all the bigger companies these days, you certainly will see a segregation of client money. If you're going through some little backyard brokering type arrangement, could be different, and I would tell you to be very, very careful on that regard. What range of investments can you get? Are you looking to just trade Australian shares, or do you want to indeed do some UK shares or some even European or Asian shares or whatever? Is it not just shares? Are you looking to trade some of the commodities and so forth? And so depending on what the broker is actually licensed to do or what they are offering, then different brokers will offer you a different range of investments. So, if you're really only looking for a very narrow, you just want to do the ASX, there's a lot more brokers out there. But if you're really looking, trying to do a very wide choice, and you're trying to create quite a diversified portfolio, just make sure your broker is not going to limit you to just certain things to invest our money in. This is just a snapshot from the brokering company that I use, just giving us, that was just sort of highlighting the features. So just to give you an example, what is sort of possible. So 35,000 different shares is what we can do, and that includes the ETFs and so forth there. If you were indeed to buy Australian shares and the value of them is under $1,000, you don't even pay a brokerage fee. So this can be very, very good for someone who's starting out, trying to just experiment with small amounts of money, in which case the brokerage cost is not going to become a burden for them as well. Now, I trade through CMC Markets, and that's who this is. The information is about them. This is not a recommendation. I mean, I do like them, but obviously I want you to do your homework. But this is just to give you an idea. You can get zero brokerage on US, UK, Canadian and Japanese shares as well. And they have won the Australian Online Broker of the Year 11 years in a row. So these are the sort of things you really need to be comparing it against them. On their account, they do have just like a standard online account, giving you lots of features, but then they've also got a pro platform. So as your experience goes up and you need more and more and more features, you can indeed switch across. Generally, if anyone that offers you a pro account, there will indeed be extra costs involved because of all the extra features. Most people, starting out, the standard platform for most people would be more than adequate. All sorts of different orders. Now, we'll talk about that in coming days, so don't worry about that one just yet. But as I say, very competitive brokers, and that's what we're looking for. So either a very low cost or a very low percentage, depending on how they do it, and what sort of support they got, and so forth. So on this next slide here, just do your comparisons. Again, I've just pinched this off a website that was giving some comparisons, and you can sort of see there that this is not necessarily the top four. I just did a snapshot of one of their slides, and it sort of comes up to show you the difference in the brokerage there for different amounts. So obviously the good one there is that if it's in under $1,000 for Australian shares there, then that asterisk is applying to Australian shares. Under $1,000, no brokerage at all with CMC Markets there. Whereas if the other ones, yes, $10, $15 or so. The difference, obviously, if you're starting to trade $50,000, where it's going to cost you $50 to do a transaction, not a lot of difference between $50 and $60 when you're trading 50,000. So the differences between them become a lot less important, obviously. So really, probably in that scenario, you're looking for perhaps convenience, backup service, and perhaps the platform or whatever other things they may indeed be offering you there. But just to say, it's use some of the websites. They do have this stockbrokers.com. Every year they put out the 5 best trading platforms in Australia. So this is the results from 2023. This report that stockbrokers.com do, this is actually the 13th annual report that they've done. It took them over 3 months to complete. There was 40,000 words of research that they did trying to compare the different things. So this is not just some, quick, easy, just comparison. This is an in-depth thing to basically really hone in on who's a good broker and who's not. So as you can see there, CMC Markets were best overall. And because I say they've been at 11 times in a row, whatever they were, that to me was enough for me to say, yep, best overall. That's all I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a good broker that ticks a lot of boxes. However, if you, for professionals, or you're looking to do a lot more things globally, possibly then Interactive Brokers has been certainly got the thumbs up there from this report. The best platform, so if you're really looking for ease of operation, perhaps charting, perhaps all the different indicators and other information that's going to be provided on your platform, then IG is certainly given the thumbs up there. CommSec, best bank for share trading. I don't know, not too sure whether that's a there's a lot of other brokers, and there's only a limited number of banks, so it's probably not a great thing to have. But obviously, if you're going to be doing it through a bank, then and you've got an account with Commonwealth Bank anyway, it could be quite something to check out, as is CommSec. Been around a long time too, CommSec, so big in that regard, been around a long time. There's some sort of security being with one of the, the biggest bank in Australia. And Westpac, interestingly enough, have got strong research, meaning that they provide you with a lot of information before you even make your decision. So they can literally, when you've got your account is then linked through to news and other educational type things. So there's a lot of information that comes with the Westpac thing there as well. Now, of course, you don't just have to have one account. You might have two. I've got two for various reasons. But you might have two, one for doing one particular sort of oddball thing, but you do the bulk of it through another because if it's easy to do or something like that. But do your research, use some of these online comparison sites. CanStar is a good website as well, but stockbrokers.com, some great information there that they do all the hard work for you. I wish you luck in setting up your account. We are going to go through the next few days exactly once you've got your account, exactly what we then need to do to use it. We look forward to joining you on another session.